Oh, hey, didn't see you there. I was just exploring the world on my boat. Just kidding. I actually have a sweet looking jetpack. So, hello guys, and welcome back to another episode of ATM9 to the Sky. And as you just saw, I have actually made a jetpack. This is the highest tier I can get currently. There are quite a few tiers, but the emerald tier is, I mean, not even currently, but this is just the highest tier because we can't upgrade it anymore. This was an actual quest that I didn't complete before. I kind of ignored it and then I forgot about it, but now I realized this is something we should have done quite a long time ago. This helps us to travel around a lot easier, and it also helps in building because when you activate the hover mode, you can actually just, kind of stand still in the air. And with this feature, it's a lot easier to actually build around, and I thought this probably would have been useful when I made this island. But it is what it is. I am ready to get back into our quests. And before we do the skyblock automated one, I just want to quickly do this ultimate farming machine. The phytogenic isolator. The only thing we don't have yet is this aluminum, and it's easy to get. We just need some glowstone, tin, and silver, which we have. I'm really not sure what's the point of this recipe. It's just more expensive by 2 glowstone, and that is everything. So we complete our quest. Cool, we get some seeds. And the reason we make this is so we can actually fully automate our power production, because currently I still need to put something in the crusher to have it, well, to make a biofuel, of course. But now if we attach this to our system, so it's getting power, I think it also needs some water, which we can get from our sink here if it connects. So we configure the bottom to be input. Yep, the water is full. We put in our seeds and it should be making some, or not. Oh, it is very slowly. Wow. So the bottom slot is for different modifiers, but I think we're not going to use them because I want this to be kind of self-sustaining. So when we pump this out into our crusher here, we get infinite power essentially, because I don't think these seeds run out. I'm not sure. That's why I want to see how this machine works first. All right, so the seeds do disappear, but we can just pump them back in with our pipes here probably, but this is kind of surprising how slow it is. We need to find a way. We can probably use potatoes, but we need to find a way so this doesn't fill up with seeds, for example, because if we want to pump seeds back in, eventually this is going to be full and we get more seeds than we need. I think, if this can produce more seeds, of course. Maybe it doesn't. If we have 2 seeds, maybe we'll always have only 2 seeds, which would be ideal because we technically only need one, and we need the wheat to go into our crusher here. Alrighty, I'm definitely sure this is not the best way to set this up, but so we do actually produce extra seeds eventually sometimes. So the way I counter this is we have a pipe here with this advanced pipe upgrade. It's not that expensive, but we need it so we can set a filter for it. And this pipe will only pump out wheat, and this wheat will go into our crusher and then into the system, right? But all the seeds will try to go into this drawer. And because this drawer is with a void upgrade, it will never be fully full. All the excess will be deleted. And this is kind of the loop I'm using. There may be an easier way, I'm not sure. The reason why I have this drawer here in the first place is so these don't overflow with seeds, these output slots. And well, if they overflow with seeds, we kind of just clog the system because this pipe can only take in the wheat. And now it's time to get into the spiciness we've all been waiting for, and that is Skyblock Automated, which is just 2 of these machines, a flux sieve and a flux hammer. We'll also need a way to compact our ores we get, or our chunks, and anything else. So we might use a crafter because a crafter is cheap, and we might check these compacting upgrades because they are pretty cheap as well. But first, let's make ourselves these 2 things, a hammer and a sieve. The recipes are pretty simple. We just need some iron, some diamonds, and, well, some more iron, I guess. And these crafters, we need some redstone and also really nothing. These are pretty cheap. The reason why these quests are so late in the quest line, they are pretty cheap and you would think they're quite useful because they produce resources for us. But without upgrades, they are very slow and that doesn't produce a lot of resources. But when we start putting in these upgrades, which start to ramp up quite quickly, you can see these process 64 items at a time, but it also uses a lot of power. And before we set up all this power we have currently, and we will still need to upgrade this setup, these machines are not really that useful. Okay, I think I have everything that is required for the setup shown in the quest. It does have another crafter. We don't worry about that for now. I kind of want to set up a initial setup so I can show you how we will upgrade it in the future. Because currently this would only work with gravel, because we pump in cobblestone into this chest. It gets processed into gravel, yeah, and the gravel gets sifted, and then everything gets smelted. So we'll do the initial setup here, and eventually I'll upgrade it, and I'll show you how I upgraded it. And I have also, in the meantime, changed some things in the island. As you can see, we have an elevator. I also filled in all of these blocks here. This was only one layer before, now it's three like it was originally. Also for that island, I think it looks a lot nicer when it's, just clean and kind of flat here. And I started building a downstairs platform. Currently, it doesn't have anything, but this is where we will put most of our machinery that we don't have. We don't want to have, in our sites, I guess. It's not because they're a disgrace, but we just don't want to see it because it's just producing stuff and we don't need to tamper with it. The first thing we placed down is our cobblestone generator. The quest we just completed gave us another one and we upgraded it to the highest tier. We need to use these pipes to pump into a chest first, I think. Set this to output. So something like so. We get cobblestone in our chest. Now we need to hammer it down, so we place the hammer under our chest. We can just disable this connection. I don't think it even would work because this only takes items from the top and it outputs it here. So we probably want this to face this way because we kind of want it to be linear and not be all around the place, just in this direction. So now we don't have any cobblestone in here for some reason. Oh, interestingly enough, we can just pump items directly into it, which I thought wasn't actually possible. But okay, I'm not sure why it's even not taking it from the top. I thought that was the whole point why we put the chest on top. Of course, we also need some power, so I made a hole in the ground. This is also a good reason why we made this platform, so we don't have all this cabling around. We just leave it underground where we don't see it. Okay, now that this has power, it is actually inputting items in here. Every time it does this work progress, it takes it out of the chest. It looks like it. And it will only take a stack at a time or something. Not sure how this works. It honestly seems a lot easier to just pump it straight into it, like so. And, now it's just filling up with this pipe and we don't need this chest even. This definitely seems like the way to go, and we just put in an upgrade so it does it a lot faster. And it's already full. And we can actually see that it is already putting its output into our sieve, which is not working because this also needs an output. But for this, I'm pretty sure we put the output on the bottom. Oh, it also requires a mesh, of course. I'll just steal one of these for now. Okay, and now this should be working. We see it's green, and we finish a work process. Oh, and we get some stuff. Cool. But as you can see, well, it's very slow because it has no upgrades. So the idea is we will now pump everything from this chest into our crafter, which will compact these automatically. And the rest will go into our drawers, I would assume. Yes, probably. A quick demonstration how the crafter works is we click a slot we want to edit. There's in total 9 slots. It looks like it, maybe less, not sure. We select it. We get our chunks just to make the recipe, and we hit apply. there is an important option we will probably use later where we can set the output of this recipe to go back into the internal storage instead of the output, and we can still use it for other recipes. For this one, we don't need it. It's just an option for maybe something else in the future we'll need. And this is one of the issues we can have. As you can see, I have all the recipes here and this crafter is full. It can't take any more recipes. But we don't have a recipe for osmium or other ores maybe, like zinc, because, well, this only has 9 slots and there are more ores than 9. That's why we need multiple crafters as is showed in the quest. But again, we might try the other option with the chest and the sophisticated storage upgrade. But for now, I'll just show you with these ores we have and just leave these be for now. One of the things that maybe I'm missing about this pipes mod is that you can't really configure these upgrades or the filters without putting them in, which is kind of an issue if you already have a setup going. I'm just going to do it in this slot here because this doesn't have anything. It won't start pumping anything. But if I started pumping stuff and setting up the filter, this would just clog up. And I'm not sure if you can really, I'm not sure if you can configure this filter without putting it in the pipe first. In the UI, you can see there is a add button, and this is a filter for items we want to pipe. So if we set it to whitelist, it's only going to pipe those items, similar as we did with the wheat. But this time we will use a tag instead of the item itself, and anything with a tag on it with the same tag is going to go through this pipe. If we hit F3 and H on our keyboard, it says advanced tooltips shown. And now if we hover over our items, we can see all the tags these chunks have. And we need to find the one that corresponds to all of them. And I think we can see it says ATM9 sky or chunks. So we probably can use that tag. Voila. And now we can see these items are changing because these are all the items that have this tag. So we're going to submit this and we have our filter set up. We're going to take this out. It saves it on this specific upgrade. We will just reconfigure this pipe. So this is the output and we put this filter in. It probably pumped something we don't want, but now it should pump in all the chunks and everything else stays in this chest. And this will be filtered later. And as you see, all the ores already are clogging up the output, so we need to set up a furnace real quick. And this is pretty much it for the setup. We have our furnace, it smelts all of our ores we get and puts it into a chest. Of course, this isn't ideal because we are not actually producing all the resources like osmium and zinc because we don't have any slots for them. But well, that requires some more advanced filtering setup, and that's maybe something we can avoid by using the integrated or sophisticated storage. Exactly, yeah. But this is, kind of a working setup for resource generation very slowly. After a little bit of testing, I figured this is probably the best setup we can do for now, and maybe this is also a permanent setup. So we have a chest with the compacting upgrade. This is the advanced version. It doesn't cost much. We just need some, well, basic materials, and this one also only needs some pistons. So it's very cheap. And how it works is every time an item is put into the chest, it checks if it can be compacted. You can just see there for a second that something got something got compacted. And if it does, it goes into this pipe, which takes all of the ores. We change the filter, so it takes only the ores, and the ores go into this furnace, get smelted, and get put into our wall. And the other filter is we have a blacklist, which means these items will be ignored and not piped. And this is where we put the chunks and ores because, well, we get both of them in this chest. And I have made a big wall here because we will probably expand this quite a few times till we can get like sand, dust, and all the other potential blocks we need to sift. And we have enough space to store it all because currently our storage system is already getting full because I cleared out this wall over here. With all that said, we can probably finally get into these upgrades, which are relatively cheap. We just need some basic materials, some terracotta, which I set up last episode. I already smelted all of the clay to get the terracotta, and we can make our upgrades. I also, in preparation, made recipes for these upgrades. As you can see, I have upgraded our crafter so we can put in more recipes, and so we don't have to do anything manually. We do have enough resources to do the netherite upgrade, but just for the completionist's sake, we need to do all of the upgrades in order. And as you can see, we completed 2 quests. Let's do the diamond one next. It's kind of slow. The crafter is still relatively slow, even if it's upgraded. And if we do the netherite, we put in our diamond back and start. And here it is. Very nice. And that's all of the upgrade quests completed. And we need to actually make another one so we can put it in both of our machines. I'm not yet sure that we will permanently use these for now because we will need to add more of these hammers and more of these meshes, and the amount of power this consumes, we might not have enough power for other machines when we put in even diamond upgrades. So for now, as a test, we'll do these, and as we can see, it's doing it insanely fast in comparison to before. You can see even the power is, it's not struggling, but it's consuming fast. And this inventory is full. So let's now put in our netherite upgrade, and it's sifting super fast. As we can see here, we are getting chunks upon chunks, and our furnace is already full, and this chest is probably going to fill up with more ores if we don't smelt quickly enough, which we probably won't, as we can see here. And if we check the wall, you can see the diamonds are increasing really fast. We had like maybe 10 in here, and in a couple of minutes, not even in a minute, it's 160. Now the other resources are filling up really quickly as well. Look at that, it's already 250 diamonds. So we definitely don't need this fast of an upgrade just yet, so we'll probably do diamonds, a diamond 1, maybe diamond 2. Not sure, I'll figure that out in the future. And we will set up more of these machines so we have more types of resources. A useful thing I didn't show you before is this emerald muncher, or I'm not sure if his name changes or not, but more specifically this market, which you can use as like a trading station, and you can get any of these seeds, saplings, flowers, or others. You can get bone meal, and it has no trading cap. So if you want to get, for example, 28 bell pepper seeds, all of these cost 1 emerald, everything costs 1 emerald, or you want to get, dark oak saplings, you can get them. You put in your 28 emeralds and you can use all of your 28 emeralds. Very nice. There is actually a quest line for this, but I kind of ignored it because we got most of the items by just playing the mod pack. For example, most of these things you get by just handling animals, which we have on our island. But the final quest here is purchasing supplies from our market here, as well as we have a quest to make a cake. So maybe let's, make one together. Of course, I don't make anything manually anymore, so we kind of auto-completed it. And we can just sit down and enjoy our meal in our nice home while it's raining outside. Now that we have enjoyed our cake, let's get back to it. And as you saw, to effectively smelt all of our resources, we probably need a better furnace. So I thought, let's, try and get one. To get the next tier, which is the obsidian furnace, we need some blaze rods. There is a way to get blaze rods using a metal press. I'm not sure if we can make it. We probably should be able to, but I thought it would probably be more fun if we just went to the nether. Especially now that we have a jetpack, it should be no issues to find a stronghold maybe, or something similar, so we can actually kill some blazes. Light this up and go. As expected, there is nothing here and the portal is just loud. If we check the map, oh, we can actually see there is a structure generated. So if we add a waypoint, just anything, so we can see which direction it is, we can look around and see we can fly that way to find something. There's going to be a lot of mobs spawning here because this is the only place they can spawn in the nether. Also, I think Apotheosis spawns these like boss level mobs which have like cool drops, but I'm not sure if we can kill them, but we're just looking for blazes now. Even though this one is a blaze, I don't want to die here because we don't have any way to get back to this island. These are the types of items we can get from the Apotheosis mod, which is like an enchanting mod. We will have to look at it at some point. I found a smithing template. We don't have to actually do it the way the quest suggests. Well, just get one and we can copy it as you do in vanilla Minecraft. Sadly, I don't see any blazes around, which makes me think they don't actually spawn here, besides the super juiced ones. So I'll probably just loot and get out of here and look for a nether fortress. Looks like I actually found one. And there is a lot of blazes. Ideally, I don't want to get set on fire because I don't have any fire protection. So I just want to kill a few just so we can upgrade our furnace and leave. Well, we also have been to all of our destinations. And that should be fine. 16 should be fine for now. I got quite a bit of loot from some of the chests. I honestly don't know what most of these things are used for. But, I mean, it's never not useful to pick them up, I guess. And with that quick expedition, there are a couple of things we can do now. We got the smithing template, so we kind of skipped this quest with occultism. We can just checkmark this and maybe ignore it for now. We probably will need to do it eventually. But with the smithing template, we can complete our netherite mesh. And we can see with a loud noise, we have actually completed a chapter. Our getting started part 1 chapter is fully complete. Ignoring these quests because these are optional and these are just to skip some early game stuff. Who would have thought it would have taken so long to complete just one quest line? But of course, as we progress, the speed at which we will complete things will ramp up quite a bit. But now, let's make our better furnaces. So we needed some blaze rods, obsidian, we just autocomplete. After the update, actually, there is a weird thing with the UI where it does, well, this. Not sure why, but we'll ignore that for now. So we put in our furnaces, we get 2 obsidian furnaces, and then we can upgrade them even further to the netherite furnace. So 1 and 2, and these should be significantly faster. This also only has 6 slots, same as the emerald furnace, but when we put in our cobblestone, it smelts at insane speeds. So now I think this would be enough to actually support 2 of these upgrades. We can put in our netherite mesh in our flux sieve. We can also hook up our new furnace. And let's see what happens when I swap these upgrades with the netherite ones. So we should have a lot of ores coming in. And this furnace probably should keep up quite easily. I do have the speed upgrade in it as well, so it's actually even twice as fast as it's originally. But yeah, no issues here. And our wall is probably going to fill up very quickly. With all of that done, I think that's going to be it for today's episode. We did a lot. Okay, that is loud. What's up with this guy? As I said before, I was rudely interrupted. I think that's going to be it for today's episode. And next time we will do a lot because this amount of resource generation has also unlocked our abilities to do a lot more with other mods because, well, resources are not going to be an issue. Like, comment, subscribe, and bye-bye.